Hello, welcome to Best of the Best, Playing with Power series where we rate the top cards, decks, sets, and much more from a CEDH perspective. We all know that Magic is more than just a game. We know that through the process of deck building, archetypes, and playstyle, Magic is a form of self-expression. This is frequently seen in the form of accessories like your playmats and sleeves. This was also expressed for a very long time in the form of premium Magic cards themselves, in the forms of foils and alternate art promos. In the last number of years, Wizards has given us more cards to help express ourselves and our decks in the form of premium versions of cards. Zendikar Expeditions, Kaladesh Inventions, Amonkhet Invocations, War of the Spark alternate art Planeswalkers, Ikoria alternate arts and Godzilla themes, Double Masters box toppers, Secret Lairs, Time Spiral remastered old bordered cards, extended border treatments and alternate frame treatments, and so on and so on and so on and so forth. With the release of Strixhaven, we were once again gifted with the premium versions of cards that help us bling out our decks. This is in the form of the Strixhaven Mystical Archive. These are alternate art and style treatments of instants and sorceries we know and love. We also get the additional value of Japanese alternate art versions of the Mystical Archive in a special frame. So which of these cards did we feel were the best of the best for CEDH? Well, that's what today's list is all about. Today we are going to talk about the best of the best CEDH reprints from the Strixhaven Mystical Archive. If you're looking to pick up any of the cards on today's list, be sure to check out our links in the description. Also, if you're looking to check out any of the artists mentioned today, be sure to check out our description for more links to their pages as well. So without further ado, let's dive right in. First up on today's list is Natural Order. This sorcery is 2 and a green that reads, as an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a green creature. Search your library for a green creature card and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. This card is frequently seen in mono-green CEDH decks as a way to cheat out huge game-ending creatures or combo-enabling creatures to win the game. Natural Order first made its appearance back in Visions in February of 1997. They did not do foil treatments back then. They didn't even do the color-coded rarities on the expansions back then either. Later that year, in May, Portal, the first starter level set catering to new players, was released. With that came a reprint of Natural Order with a different art this time. These were your only 2 options for this card all the way until 2010 when the Judge promo was released. This was the first foil treatment that Natural Order was to receive. It had the same art as the Visions version, but with a new border and an updated errata text. 2016 saw the release of Eternal Masters and a new printing. This allowed you to get the foil treatment this time again, and it also increased the overall supply of this powerful card. With the exception of the Portal version of this card, the only other art was from artist Therese Nielsen. While not getting into any controversy about this artist, some did not wish to have her art in the decks they built, so they were left with only the Portal version to choose from. This new printing, with brand new exotic art by artist Anato Finstark, is a welcome addition to our selection. Anato Finstark's footprint is currently small in the Magic art community, but the impact is already great. Finstark has only been seen on premium versions of cards so far, and they have all been great. Next on today's list is Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt costs 1 red for an instant that reads, Lightning Bolt deals 3 damage to any target. Lightning Bolt has been very influential in Magic's history. This is one of the original Alpha Boons, a cycle of 5 that gave an effect with a value 3 for each of the colors of Magic, and many of these boons still see a great number of play today. Lightning Bolt is partially responsible for the maximum of 4 copies of any card in a constructed deck rule adopted early on. People would place 40 copies of Lightning Bolt along with 20 mountains in a deck, and it was actually pretty formidable. Lightning Bolt was printed all the way back in Alpha through 4th edition in 1995, and it didn't see another printing again into Standard until Core Set 2010. This was a 14-year gap of the coveted card. It was never printed into Standard again after that due to how much the environment warps around the card. The art, done by Christopher Rush, remained unchanged throughout the early life of the card. Even the Judge promo in 1998, the first foil printing of the card, saw the same art as the others. The next rendition of the art came from the Core Set 2010 printing. This time, the art was done by Christopher Moeller. Since then, there have been many reprintings of Lightning Bolt in special and supplemental sets. This includes Magic Player Rewards, Magic Fest 2019, and even the Secret Lair Summer Super Drop series, including 4 new artworks available for the famous card. Finstark once again gave us the art for this card, and it is a welcome addition to the bling in our decks. Next up on today's list is Negate. Negate is 1 and a blue for an instant that reads, Counter target non-creature spell. Negate made its debut all the way back in 2008 with a printing of Morningtide. It became an instant staple, spawning printings in every subsequent core set from Magic 2010 all the way through Origins when they discontinued core sets at the time. In order to still keep it legal in standard rotations, but without core sets, they started putting Negate in the normal expansion sets. They made sure to place it in at least one set per year, usually in the smaller set of the 2-block structure. It saw printings in Dragons of Tarkir, Oath of the Gatewatch, Aether Revolt, and Rivals of Ixalan. With the return of core sets, Negate slotted nicely and saw another printing in Core Set 2020. With its most recent printing in Zendikar Rising, this card will see play in standard sets for the upcoming future. The original art for Negate by Jeremy Jarvis was used in all the core sets up until when it was placed into the expansions. Dragons of Tarkir gave it the first new art treatment in the normal frame. More art was used with different artists taking their turn rendering this must-have card. From a premium perspective, Magic Player Rewards 2009 saw a full frame printing of the card. Signature Spellbook Jace also gave us an alternate frame and art treatment. Core Set 2020 gave us the same art but with a new frame treatment. Dominic Mayer gave us the art for this version of Negate, and it is a fantastic rendition of the classic card. Next up on our list is Counterspell. Counterspell costs 2 blue for an instant that reads, Counter target spell. It doesn't get more concise than that. Printed all the way back in Alpha, and with over 30 printings, this card is as historic as Magic itself. The term counter is a keyword action that was introduced all the way back when Magic was first released. This card, along with cards such as Blue Elemental Blast, Power Sync, and Spell Blast, are what gave rise to the permission-based style of play. Mark Poole gave us the first artist rendition of the card. This art continued across expansions, and the first new art didn't appear until the DCI Legend membership printing in 1995. DCI, short for Duelist Convocation International, was the official body that ran tournaments for Wizards of the Coast. They offered 2 different membership levels. They offered a free mana membership, granting you the ability to participate in their tournaments, and the US Legend membership, which gave the same thing at a premium cost, but also gifted you 2 alternate art cards, one of which was Counterspell. The artist responsible for this printing was Dom. The first foil printing was in Mercadian Masks. It still commands a high price to this day. You have your choice of different artworks, as this card has been printed multiple times with a number of different artworks. Premium versions come in the form of a Judge gift card, FNM 2005, an Amonkhet Invocation, a signature spellbook, and recently in Commander Legends with the widescreen edition. Olena Richards is responsible for the art on this classic card, and it is a beauty to behold. Next on our list is Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual is 1 black for an instant that reads, add 3 black. Another of the Alpha boons, this card was printed all the way back in the debut of Magic in Alpha. This is where the term Ritual was coined. A ritual in Magic is a one-shot mana effect, most notably giving you positive mana for the resulting effect. Dark Ritual was removed from core sets after 5th edition to give more flexibility to black. Just like Lightning Bolt, the color and the format was warping around the card. As a fun fact, this card holds the record for belonging to the most card types over its history. It started as an interrupt, became a mana source, and then settled on an instant as it is today. As far as the premium versions go, the first foil printing was once again in Mercadian Masks. It also saw itself as a Judge promo, a From the Vault card, and an Amonkhet Invocation. One of the more rare forms, however, comes from the Summer Magic version, also called Edgar. This set has an interesting history, but the short story is that Summer Magic was released to fix a number of problems with Revised Edition in 1994. This set was also full of errors and was recalled to be destroyed. However, about 40 boxes of Summer Magic ended up getting shipped out and distributed to the world. So, if you find a version of a Dark Ritual with a 1994 date stamp, hold on to it. Robbie Trevino gives us this rendition of this classic card, and it is phenomenal to look at. Next up on our list is Brainstorm. Brainstorm is 1 blue for an instant that reads, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. With 20 plus printings, this card is one of the premier top deck manipulators in the game. Things like Brainstorm, Ponder, Preordained, Serum Visions, and Opt are all 1 mana value cards that let you manipulate the top of your library and replace themselves through the use of what's called a cantrip. A cantrip is a slang term that refers to a spell that replaces itself through the ability of drawing a card as part of the effect of the spell. Brainstorm has a history starting off in Ice Age in 1995. Most of Brainstorm's printings are in supplemental sets, like Master Sets, Commander Products, and others like the Beatdown Box Set and Conspiracy. It saw its first foil printing in, no surprise, Mercadian Masks in 1999. The next foil treatment wouldn't come until the F&M promo in 2004. Brainstorm wouldn't have a real mass foil print run until Conspiracy in 2014. This drove the prices of the Mercadian Masks foil to nearly $500. Brainstorm did see a few premium printings of the card in the form of the Signature Spellbook and the Double Masters full art box toppers. Justin and Alexis Hernandez did the art treatment on this rendition, and they did a fabulous job. Our runner-up on today's list is Demonic Tutor. Demonic Tutor is 1 and a black for a sorcery that reads, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle. This is another card debuting all the way back in Alpha. This card saw printings in the original ABUR releases of Magic, that being Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, and Revised. This card did not see the light of day again until 2008 with the first foil printing of a Judge gift card. It saw another printing in 2009 inside of the Dual Decks Divine vs. Demonic. This was a release of Angels vs. Demons. Dual Decks Anthology gave us another printing of the card in the Modern Border treatment in 2014. We finally saw its first foil mass printing in Ultimate Masters in 2018. Ultimate Masters also graced us with the first widescreen editions printed as box toppers. We saw another printing of the Judge promo in 2020 with a very unique artwork. The most sought after copy once again resides in the Summer Magic printing from the summer of 1994. Interesting point about the version of this card is the lack of pentagram on the demon's forehead. Summer Magic was printed to address a number of issues in Revised Edition, and one of those issues was the rising concern among different groups about satanic depictions on the cards. Summer Magic was to address these, including the imagery in Demonic Tutor. Once again, if you have a copy of this card, hold on to it. Finstark graces us again with their presence, and it is a fantastic rendition of the card. Coming out at number 1 on today's list is Tainted Pact. Tainted Pact is 1 and a black for an instant that reads, exile the top card of your library. You may put that card into your hand unless it has the same name as another card exiled this way. Repeat this process until you put a card into your hand, or you exile 2 cards with the same name, whichever comes first. So why does this card top today's list? First of all, this is the first reprint of this card since its original printing in Odyssey all the way back in 2001. So this card hasn't seen another printing in 20 years. This card is a critical part of the 2-card Thassa's Oracle combo. Cast Thassa's Oracle, with the trigger on the stack, cast Tainted Pact. Exile your entire library and put the bottom card into your hand. Then Thassa's Oracle will win you the game. Tainted Pact was a bulk rare, costing less than $1 for most of its life. It wasn't until April of 2019 that it suddenly started skyrocketing in price. We saw this card go from a few dollars all the way up to over $90 in 2 years. This also had a number of tertiary effects as well. Due to the nature of the card, all cards in your deck needed to be unique, including basic lands. In order to effectively run this card and still have a decent mana base, you had to run all kinds of cards that would be considered suboptimal under normal circumstances. This card's popularity caused other cards like Tarnished Citadel to increase in price as a result. We are glad to finally see a reprinting of this card, and Benjamin E gives us a fantastic rendition of the art. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of Best of the Best. What do you think of the cards from Mystical Archive? What cards did we leave out? Let us know in the comments below. You can also help us out by liking, sharing, subscribing, and also supporting us on Patreon. If you're looking to pick up any of the cards on today's list, be sure to check out our links in the description. Also, if you're looking to check out any of the artists mentioned today, be sure to check out our description for more links to their pages as well. Tune in next time when we attempt to assemble the best cards for our favorite format, CEDH. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.